Hey, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the John DeVito Show. I hope everyone is having a great night. I'm just sitting back chilling, and here, I'm recording this at almost 11 o'clock on Thursday night. I'm sitting by my pellet stove trying to find something to watch on television. Now, as many of you know, we've had the writer's strike, the actor's strike, all these different strikes that have prevented any of the actors or writers from creating any new TV shows. So, I live in a cold climate. It's dark at 4:30 in the afternoon here. You get home from work. It's cold out. So we end up, binge watching things on Netflix, looking for different things to watch. And right now we're struggling. So I decided to get on and make a quick podcast, maybe helping some of you out if you're in the same predicament that I am right now and that we are. So I looked up a list of the top 50 shows of all time to binge watch on Netflix, HBO Max, whatever you binge watch on. And, right now, I think more than anything, if you're sitting home in a cold climate or even in a warm climate where you can't go out because it's too hot, you need some new shows to binge watch. So if you haven't seen all of these, then these might be some shows that you want to start with. Now, I haven't seen all the shows on this list, so I'm not going to be able to comment on all of them, but I'll make comments on some of the shows I've watched and what I thought of those shows. Okay, so let's start off without waiting any longer. Let's get into this. I want to make it relatively quick so you can all listen to this and maybe get some new show ideas so you have something to watch over the weekend coming up. Okay, so last on the list in the top 50 is Better Call Saul. Now, if you haven't seen this, I was a big Breaking Bad fan, and Saul on Breaking Bad was probably the most annoying character on the show. I did not like his character at all, and I really had no intention of watching Better Call Saul. But we ran out of shows to watch, and it was there, so we watched one episode. Honestly, Better Call Saul was outstanding. Great show on a scale of 1 to 10. I would give it maybe like a solid 8 or 9. And is it as good as Breaking Bad? Probably not, but it was a very solid show. So if you haven't seen Better Call Saul, highly recommend it. Binge watch it. And on IMDb, it was actually rated 9.0 out of 10 as well. All right, so the next one on the list is a show that has 30 episodes. Now, Better Call Saul had 63 episodes, so that'll keep you busy for a while. This show number 50, I did not see this, but I may have to check it out because it looks pretty good. It's a show called True Detective, and it's a TV series. There were 30 episodes. It ran, it looks like, back in 2014, so it didn't last for that long, but it had 30 episodes, and IMDb gave it a score of 8.9. So that's True Detective, and you can check that one out. Maybe it sounds like it's pretty good. This next one here, I definitely did not see this. So maybe this is one to check out as well. The next one on the list is The Witcher, and it's a TV series with 25 episodes. It looks like this was filmed or released back in 2019. You can find this on Netflix. So it only lasted one season. So for whatever reason, it did not catch on, but IMDb ranks it at 8.0. Okay, another one I haven't seen. A lot of these at the bottom of the list I haven't seen, and some of them I've been meaning to see. So it looks like I do have some things I can actually watch. Now, the next one on the list is a show, or actually a movie, called Alone. Well, I actually did see this. This is actually very good. I enjoyed Alone quite a bit. It only got a 6.2 score on IMDb. It runs about, it looks like an hour and 38 minutes, and it's rated R. It was released back in 2020. So Alone is the next one on the list, and it's a movie. So then there's another TV series called Community. I have seen a few episodes of this. I liked it, didn't love it, but it was a very popular show. It ran from 2009 to 2015. It's TV 14. It was ranked 8.5 stars on IMDb, and again, it was a very popular show. It's just not something I ever really got into. The next one on the list, and this ranks at number 46, is The Mandalorian, which I know is popular. It started in 2019. There have been 24. There were 24 episodes in this particular series. It was also ranked 8.7. So it looks like the people that watched this really liked it and scored it on IMDb. So The Mandalorian is something else again, that could possibly be of interest. Now, I don't know much about this, but I'm looking into the description. It talks about, let's see, the travels of a lone bounty hunter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. So it sounds pretty interesting, actually, if you think about that. So it says, okay, after the stories of Django and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire before the emergence of the First Order. We follow the travails of a lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. Now, I am admittedly not a big Star Wars fan, so I did not realize that that was an extension of the Star Wars family, but it did last for 24 episodes. So maybe, if you're a big Star Wars fan, especially, you might check out The Mandalorian if you haven't seen it, and it could be maybe a match for you. Now, see, going back into the age-old argument, I was always a Star Trek fan more than a Star Wars fan, so I'm more of a Trekkie. That's kind of what gets me going. But The Mandalorian looks like it could actually be decent. All right, now this series I've seen, good series. It started way back in 2003. It ran through 2019. There were 84 episodes of Arrested Development. So if you're not familiar with that, basically it is a story about level-headed son Michael Blunt, who takes over the family affairs after his father is in prison. But the rest of everything is spoiled. The rest of his spoiled, dysfunctional family are making his job unbearable. So this is about a really dysfunctional family. The family was once at the height of the real estate development in Orange County, California, but because of the family business, it goes bust, and they're suddenly found penniless. So this, if you think about Arrested Development, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Schitt's Creek. That's a show that I really like, and hopefully it made this list because I really enjoy that show. All right, and that Arrested Development got 8.7 on IMDb. All right, number 44 is Silicon Valley. I have not seen that. 53 episodes. It premiered back in 2014, ran through 2019. It got 8.5 on IMDb. And this, just a very quick synopsis, it follows the struggles of Richard Hendricks, a Silicon Valley engineer trying to build his own company called Pied Piper. So that might be something of interest. And that sounds like that could be probably a pretty good show as well. So, but by looking at this, I'm realizing how many shows I actually haven't seen. So this has given me some optimism as we're entering into the winter months here in Massachusetts that I might actually find a few things to watch. Okay, number 43 on the list is called Flashpoint. I never saw that. And this is basically the missions and trials of a Toronto police tactical unit. So that sounds like that could be decent. So I've never seen that, but that also got ranked a decent score on IMDb. And if you like those type of shows, there are 75 episodes. So the next one got a really high score. There's 60 episodes. It ran from 2002 to 2008. It got a 9.3 on IMDb. It's called The Wire. Another one that I have not seen. Now this one, the description of this is the Baltimore drug scene as seen through the eyes of drug dealers and law enforcement. The streets of Baltimore as a microcosm of the U.S. war on drugs and the U.S. urban decay in general, seen not only through the eyes of a few policemen and drug gang members, but also the people who influence and inhabit their world, politicians, the media, drug addicts, and everyday citizens. So, to be honest with you, that doesn't sound like something that would really be up my alley, but, it looks like it could be decent. So you might want to check that one out if that is of interest to you. The next one on the list I have seen. I did like this. It's called Californication. It ran from 2007 through 2014. There were 84 episodes, and IMDb gave it a score of 8.3. So this is basically a very quick synopsis. Is a writer tries to juggle his career, his relationships with his daughter, his ex-girlfriend, as well as his appetite for beautiful women. So, it's one of those shows where it's got a lot going on, and I have seen it. And I think if you've got kind of a sense of humor and, you like that type of show, I think that could be a hit for you. All right, number 40 on the list is Luther. That's a TV series. It only ran for 20 episodes, but it's kind of strange. It says 20 episodes, but it ran for some reason from 2010 to 2019. So I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it got an 8.4 score on IMDb. And again, John Luther is a near genius murder detective whose brilliant mind can't always save him from dangerous violence of his passions. So honestly, I haven't seen that, but that sounds pretty good. I might put that on my list. And that's the number 40 choice called Luther. And again, scored very well on IMDb. Now, if you're a Batman fan, and I am a Batman fan, but I'm more of a Michael Keaton Batman fan, but the series Gotham is out there, and it ran for 5 years, 2014 through 2019. It got a 7.8 for a score with IMDb, and it ran for 100 episodes. That might be something you might want to check out. Now, this next one, The Last Man on Earth, this is number 38. It's a TV series with 67 episodes. It got a 7.4 on IMDb, and this is almost 2 years after a virus wiped out most of the human race. Phil Miller only wishes for some company, but soon gets more than he bargained for when the company shows up in the form of other survivors. Now, for me, I don't know about all of you, but I'm kind of done with the whole pandemic thing, with the virus thing, COVID, and all that stuff. Just kind of, spent all the credits I had in that genre. So I think I'm going to probably pass on The Last Man on Earth. It looks like it could be funny, but for me, I'm going to pass on that one. All right, number 37 on the list, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Now, this sounds kind of interesting. It looks like it started back in 2012, and it's still running. There have been 85 episodes. And, oh yeah, I've seen this. Okay, now I just clicked on the description. Jerry Seinfeld is joined by friends for a cup of coffee and a drive in a classic car, sharing stories all along the way. Now, if you like Jerry Seinfeld, which I do, I'm a huge Seinfeld fan, that would be something that I would definitely be interested in. I've seen a few episodes here and there. I didn't realize there were actually 85 episodes of this. So this is something I would probably check out and watch. I don't know if I'd binge watch it, but I would probably pick and choose who I'd want to see, in his car being basically interviewed or listening to the conversation. But sounds pretty good, actually. If you're a Seinfeld fan, you might want to give that a listen or check it out. Now, number 36 on the list is The Blacklist. Good show, 218 episodes, and James Spader is in this, 2013 through 2023. I have seen a number of these, and I do like it. I haven't seen all of them, but I do enjoy this show. So basically, it's about a new FBI profiler, Elizabeth Keene, has her entire life uprooted when a mysterious criminal, Raymond Reddington, who has eluded capture for decades, turns himself in and insists on speaking only to her. So, pretty good show. If you like James Spader, he's always kind of the bad guy. This is a show you probably will want to check out. All right, number 35. I'm not going to go too deeply into this one. This is not really my genre, but it might be for yours if you're into superheroes. The Flash, 184 episodes, got a 7.5 on IMDb. It ran from 2014 through 2023. Number 34 on the list. Now we're talking. I'm actually surprised this is not higher on the list. Lost, the TV series, one of my all-time favorite TV series. It is just an amazing adventure ride from the first episode on. It ran for 121 episodes from 2004 to 2010. It got an 8.3 on IMDb. And basically, the very basic description of this is the survivors of a plane crash are forced to work together in order to survive on a seemingly deserted tropical island. Now, the past, present, and future lives of surviving Oceanic Flight 815 passengers are dramatically intertwined as a flight for survival ensues in a quest for answers after crash landing on a mysterious island. Each discovery prompts yet more secrets and more questions as the hastily formed colony search for a way off the island. Or is this their new home? Great series. I loved it. Of course, I'm a big fan of Kate in that show, and if you end up watching it and you're a man like I am, then you will definitely develop an appreciation for Kate in Lost. All right, great series. Next on the list, number 33. I'm also surprised this isn't a little bit higher. Black Mirror, 27 episodes. It's run, I didn't realize it ran from 2011, but it's really a very interesting series. So it's basically an anthology series exploring a twisted high-tech multiverse where humanity's greatest innovations and darkest instincts collide. So if you like kind of like those creepy, sci-fi-ish, really deep-level thinking shows, Black Mirror is something you should totally binge watch if you haven't seen it so far. Next one on the list, number 32, White Collar. Never heard of it. 81 episodes, got an 8.2 on IMDb. Black Mirror got an 8.7, by the way. And this show, White Collar, ran from 2009 through 2014. A quick description of this is a white-collar criminal agrees to help the FBI catch other white-collar criminals using his expertise as an art and securities thief, counterfeiter, and con man. So, sounds like it could be decent. This would be a little bit further down on my list, I think. Number 31 on the list, Narcos. Have never seen it. I know it's been very popular. There were only 30 episodes made, 2015 through 2017, 8.8 on IMDb. And the description of this one, a chronicle look at the criminal exploits of Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar, as well as the many other drug kingpins who plagued the country through the years. So again, I know it was popular, but not something I would probably watch. But if you're into that type of thing, it might be something you might want to check out. Now, number 30, I don't even know what this is, but I like the sound of it already. Number 30 on the list is called Manhunt. There were only 18 episodes filmed, so it looks like maybe it lasted for a couple of short seasons. It got an 8.1 on IMDb, but I do like the name of it, and I've never seen it. So, okay, this is kind of like one of those things where it's based on reality. An in-depth look at how the FBI profiler helped track down the terrorist Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Oh, interesting. So this might be something where it's more of like a thing where they outline exactly how they caught Ted Kaczynski, who was just a crazy guy and was well known as the Unabomber. So, that actually might be something, because I lived through that I might be interested in checking out. So, Manhunt, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the Unabomber, that might be a way to go. All right, 29 on the list. Great show, Criminal Minds. It's about the behavioral crimes unit of the FBI. Phenomenal cast. Love the episodes. If you haven't seen Criminal Minds, there are 335 episodes for you to choose from, and this could last you right through the winter if you live in a cold climate. 8.1 on IMDb, and just a great show. All right, this next one, I have watched it, House of Cards, 73 episodes, starring Kevin Spacey. It got 8.7 on the IMDb rating, and honestly, it was a great show. I really enjoyed the show, but right now I'm kind of sour on Kevin Spacey after all the things we've heard about him. So, House of Cards, if you're desperate to watch something, it really is a solid show. But at this point, I have a hard time even stomaching Kevin Spacey. So, I'm probably a pass if I hadn't watched it to actually watch it. But it really is very good if you haven't seen it. Next on the list, number 27, King of the Hill. I've never seen an episode. 250 episodes. I'm not really into cartoons that much. I know it's a very funny show. A lot of people like it. And maybe I'll have to watch a couple episodes. But for me, not really my thing right now. South Park, number 26 on the list, same type of thing. Very funny cartoon. Ranked actually higher than King of the Hill at 8.7. 330 episodes. So really, if you look at South Park and King of the Hill, you've got a good 600 episodes you could watch there. And that'll keep you busy until probably the end of 2024 if you start watching those two. All right, number 25 on the list, 30 Rock. Good show. 138 episodes, ranked 8.3. And I've seen a number of these. I haven't seen all of them, but I did enjoy it when I watched it. It's basically about Liz Lemon, who's a head writer of the sketch company show TGS with Tracy Jordan, must deal with an arrogant new boss and a crazy new star while trying to run a successful television show without losing her mind. So it's that type of show. Tina Fey was involved. She's very funny, obviously. So, might be something you want to check out if you're looking for that type of show. Number 24, Curb Your Enthusiasm. A lot of similarities between this show and, of course, Seinfeld. This is basically the life and times of Larry David, who, if you really look at him compared to Jerry Seinfeld, his character his life was the inspiration for Seinfeld. And he gets into all kinds of predicaments. And basically, it's another show about nothing. So if you like Seinfeld, you would probably like Curb Your Enthusiasm, the story of Larry David. So I would recommend that, and I did find it funny. Number 23, The Tudors. I did see this, 38 episodes, and surprisingly, I really liked it. My wife kind of talked me into watching this, and I really hemmed and hawed and decided to watch it at the last minute. But this is basically a dramatic series about the reign and marriages of King Henry VIII. And it was pretty solid. So if you like those types, Game of Thrones-ish, maybe a little bit of a stretch there, then The Tudors might be something you want to check out if you haven't seen it. Number 22 on the list, The Expanse. I've never heard of it. 62 episodes, 8.5 on IMDb. And this is about the disappearance of rich girl turned political activist, links the lives of a detective, accidental ship captain, and UN politician. Amidst political tension between Earth, Mars, and the Belt, they unravel the greatest conspiracy. So, maybe initially as I was reading that off, it really didn't pack much punch for me. But as I get into that description a little bit more, it could be kind of interesting. Now, this one, wow, I can't believe this is actually on the list. This is going way back to the 80s. And I have to admit, this was a show that I enjoyed, The A-Team. Now, if the A-Team's on this list, hopefully Knight Rider's on the list, hopefully Magnum PI's on the list, hopefully all these other great shows, maybe like MacGyver, are on the list. We'll see. And of course, you have to get Baywatch on the list if the A-Team's there. Love Boat. This opens up a whole can of worms for me. Fantasy Island. So we'll see. But the A-Team, solid. It came on after the success Mr. T had in the Rocky movie. And it's really a fun show, kind of like Dukes of Hazzard-ish, I guess. But I'm a little surprised to see it at 21, but definitely a fun show to watch, something kids would probably like as well. Number 20 on the list, this show and the A-Team should not be side to side, but number 20 was outstanding. Ozark, if you haven't seen that, you can watch it on Netflix. It got 8.5 on IMDb. I'm surprised it didn't do a little bit better. And it basically, they only had 44 episodes. That kind of surprises me. But basically, this is about a financial advisor drags his family from Chicago to the Missouri Ozarks, where he must launder money to appease a drug boss. And it gets really interesting. The actors are great. I love Jason Bateman in it, and it was just a really, really good show. So I would highly recommend, if you haven't seen Ozark, check that out. Give it a watch. I think you'll enjoy it. Number 19, back into the cartoon genre, The Simpsons, 758 episodes. My question is, where did the ideas come from? I mean, it's a great show. I was watching this, I swear to God, when I was going back to like when I was still in high school or college, and I'm 55 years old. That's how long this show has been on the air, and it gets an 8.7 on IMDb. Number 18, Lie to Me, 48 episodes, got an 8.0 score on IMDb. It was a great show. I did enjoy this. Basically, it's about Cal Lightman, the world's leading deception art expert who studies facial expressions in involuntary body language to expose the truth behind lies. So pretty interesting show. I really did like that. And it was something that, I recommended. If you like those type of shows, I would check it out. Number 17, I am a huge Walking Dead fan. We just actually got done binge watching Daryl Dixon and the final Walking Dead season. Basically, there are 177 episodes from The Walking Dead, 8.1 on IMDb. Yes, it's zombies. I get you may not like zombies, but if you haven't seen The Walking Dead, the storyline is great. The character development is really strong. And the zombies are a part of the story, but really there's a lot more to it about how society would act and survive in this type of worldwide tragedy. So The Walking Dead, I love it. So I've seen pretty much all the episodes, all the different series. I'm without a doubt a fan. If you haven't seen it, I know the zombies might be a tough thing to swallow, for lack of a better description, but I would check them out. I think you'd probably like it because it's really a good show. Number 16 on the list, I'm surprised this isn't higher. Breaking Bad, which in my opinion is one of the best TV series in history. Walter White, the chemistry teacher, 62 episodes from 2008 to 2013, and a 9.5 on IMDb. So if you haven't heard of this show, you have to watch it. It's a great show. It's about a chemistry teacher diagnosed with inoperable lung cancer. He turns to manufacturing and selling meth with a former student in order to secure his family's future. And it kind of takes on a life of itself and everything. So it was really a very, very good show. That's one of my favorites. I mean, I've seen every episode of that. And I was thinking actually about maybe watching the series again. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. But now number 15 on the list, Bloodline. I watched one episode of this. I did not like it. We didn't go back. But there were 33 episodes. It's ranked 15 on the list. It's got a 7.9 IMDb score. And basically, it is about a family that's forced to face their past secrets and scars when the black sheep returns home. So I might have to give this another chance. One of the stars is the head coach from what was that? Friday Night Lights, the football TV series. And I love that guy. He was the coach for the football team in Dillon, Texas. So anyway, Bloodline, good, decent show according to the ratings. I only got through one episode, so I may have to give it a look again. Number 14, I've never seen an episode, Parks and Recreation, 8.6 IMDb score, 124 episodes. It's a comedy, again, with Tina Fey. It's a chronicle antics of an Indiana town's public officials as they pursue different projects to make their city a better place. So kind of like an Office type of show. And I wasn't really a big fan of The Office either. So number 13 on the list is Deadwood. There were 36 episodes, got an 8.6 score. And Deadwood, I've seen a few episodes of this. I never went back to it, but I need to because I did like it. This is basically a show set in the late 1800s, revolving around the characters of Deadwood, South Dakota, a town of deep corruption and crime. Yeah, I got to get back to that. That was really good when I saw it, and I just never got back to it. So, man, I'm feeling optimistic. A lot of things for me to watch. So, number 12 on the list is Sherlock. 15 episodes. I mean, I think you all know the story of this, but this is a quirky spin on Conan Doyle's iconic sleuth. Pitches him as a high-functioning sociopath in the modern-day London, assisting him in his investigations. Afghanistan war vet John Watson, who's introduced to Holmes by a mutual acquaintance. So, decent. I'm not a huge Sherlock fan, but it's something that I would probably go back and watch again and give it a second chance. So, number 11 on the list, I've seen them. I don't love it. I know this was a huge hit, especially with the younger people. Stranger Things can be found on a few different platforms. There were 42 episodes. Seems like there were more. It's not done yet. This is going to be, I think there's one more season coming. But Stranger Things is kind of a weird show, and it was kind of cool. I got bored with it after a while, though. But basically, it's when a young boy vanishes a small town, uncovers a mystery involving secret experiments, terrifying supernatural forces, and one strange little girl. So it was definitely cool, but the coolness factor, I think, wore off for me after a little bit. All right, number 10 on the list. We'll get to the top 10. The IT Crowd from 2006 to 2013. I've never even heard of the show. Basically, it's the comedic misadventures of Ross, Moss, and their grifting supervisor, Jen, a ragtag team of IT support workers at a large corporation headed by a hot-headed yuppie. So, another Office, another Parks and Recreation, really not my thing, but it looks like it's probably funny. And if you like that type of show, you like comedies, you might want to give it a watch. All right, the next two on the list, phenomenal. Two of my very favorites. Number 9 on the list, Sons of Anarchy, 92 episodes. What a great show that was. I really enjoyed it. Didn't think I would enjoy it, but it's basically almost like a biker version of The Sopranos, where a biker struggles to balance being a father and being involved in an outlaw motorcycle club. And they're kind of like a crime family. So if you like The Sopranos, this is basically just The Sopranos on motorcycles. Now, it's good that I mentioned The Sopranos because number 8 on the list is The Sopranos. And I'm actually re-binging watching this for the third time right now. There were 86 episodes, follows the exploits of Tony Soprano and his family, a New Jersey mob boss. And it's one of those shows where they really make you like the characters. Tony Soprano's a family man, tries to be a good father, and he's one of those guys where he kind of wants to be saved, but he's got the evil street mob boss where he goes out and runs a business of illegal crime, and he commits, murder and everything else. And just a great show. IMDb gave it a 9.2. I would have The Sopranos probably in my top 3 if I had to. Number 7 on the list is Hannibal. After the Silence of the Lamb movies, I kind of got Hannibaled out a little bit. But this was the TV series that ran for 39 episodes back in 2013 through 2015. It got 8.5 as a score, pretty solid score. But for me, I did not watch it, and I can't even say that I've watched one episode of that. And I honestly don't even know if I'd watch that because I'm just kind of tired of the whole Hannibal Lecter thing at this point. All right, number 6, Hell on Wheels, 57 episodes. I have not seen this, but basically, it looks pretty good, actually. The Civil War is past, but former Confederate soldier Cullen Bohannon can't put it behind him. fresh on the memories of the death of his wife, killed at the hands of the Union soldiers, an act that sets him on a course of revenge. Boy, I'll tell you, that sounds pretty good. Hell on Wheels. I have not seen that. I had not heard of that, but that one just made it onto my list because I'm kind of a, Revolutionary War, Civil War buff, and that to me sounds like it's interesting. All right, we're getting into the top here. I see some good ones up at the top. Number 5 on the list, Game of Thrones. Great show, and we were just talking about this last night, and I can't really tell you this without ruining the whole series for you if you haven't seen it. But one of the main characters, I love the transition that happened with that person in the last season. It just threw people over the top. And if you've watched the series, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, the Game of Thrones was something I did not expect to like, but it was about 9 noble families who fight for control over the lands of Westeros while an ancient enemy returns after being dormant for a millennia. So Game of Thrones, it's hard to explain it, but it's really a great show, and I highly recommend it. Number 4 on the list. I'm actually kind of surprised it's number 4, but to be honest with you, I love this show. It aired back 2005 to 2017. There were 90 episodes. Prison Break, which I absolutely loved. Towards the end, it lost its way a little bit, but the first handful of seasons were really very good. And it's about basically a structural engineer installs himself in a prison he helped design in order to save his falsely accused brother from a death sentence by breaking themselves out from the inside. And one of the cool things is he's got tattoos all over his body, and the tattoos are all basically things he uses to help get him out of prison. So it's really a cool show. All right, number 3, one of my all-time favorites, and I was actually in the last season, the new season of Dexter, New Blood. Dexter, great show, 96 episodes, 8.7 on IMDb. And if you haven't seen it, it's basically about the serial killer that you fall in love with. He's smart, he's lovable, he's Dexter Morgan, America's favorite serial killer who spends his days solving crimes, working for Miami Metro, and eventually lives in Massachusetts. And that's when I was in one of the episodes as a parent in in the wrestling scene that season. And you can see me, there are close-ups on me as I'm screaming during the wrestling match, which was really fun to be at. So anyway, Dexter, highly recommend. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. Phenomenal show. This next one, I'm a little embarrassed to say that I haven't seen it. I need to see this. Band of Brothers. Basically, again, this is a story about Easy Company of the U.S. Army, 101st Airborne Division, and their mission at World War II, Europe. I've heard that Band of Brothers is just phenomenal. I'm a big fan of like Saving Private Ryan and movies like that. So I've got to get out and see Band of Brothers. 9.4, and there were only 10 episodes. So it was the entire series was 2001. So I've got to watch that. The Office, I've seen a number of episodes, not all of them. There were 188 episodes. This is number 1 on the list, which surprises me a little bit. But The Office was hysterical. Steve Carell, I'm actually a big fan of his, another guy from Massachusetts. So this is basically a mockumentary on a group of typical office workers where the workday consists of ego clashes, inappropriate behavior, and tedium. So if you're a person that spent any time working in an office, then you could probably relate to this and really get in and enjoy that type of show. So let me really quickly, without any dialogue, I'm going to run down this top 50 really quick from bottom to top and just run off these shows for you again. Hopefully you make notes of a few of them, and maybe it gives you something to watch during these cold months up here in New England. So the last one on the list, Better Call Saul, was actually number 51. True Detective, number 50. The Witcher, number 49. 48 was Alone. 47, Community. 46, The Mandalorian. 45, Arrested Development. 44, Silicon Valley. 43, Flashpoint. 42, The Wire. 41, Californication. 40 was Luther. 39, Gotham. 38, The Last Man on Earth. 37, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. 36, The Blacklist. 35, The Flash. 34, The Lost, which I love. 33, Black Mirror. 32, White Collar. 31, Narcos. 30, Manhunt. 29, Criminal Minds. 28, House of Cards. 27, King of the Hill. 26, South Park. 25, 30 Rock. 24, Curb Your Enthusiasm. 23, The Tudors. 22, The Expanse. 21, The 18, 20, Ozark, 19, The Simpsons, 18, Lie to Me, 17, The Walking Dead, 16, Breaking Bad, 15, Bloodline, 14, Parks and Recreation, 13, Deadwood, 12, Sherlock, 11, Stranger Things, 10, The IT Crowd, 9, Sons of Anarchy, 8, The Sopranos, 7, Hannibal, 6, Hell on Wheels, 5, Game of Thrones, 4, Prison Break, 3, Dexter, 2, Band of Brothers, 1, The Office, and A Partridge in a Pear Tree. So there you have it. So if you're struggling for things to watch, that's a quick 35-minute podcast giving you a bunch of new ideas. Thank you for tuning into the John DeVito Show, and have a wonderful night and stay warm this winter. I love you all.